Hello friends, it's me again. I didn't expect Iva to be here again so quickly, but I was tagged by Rika to answer the 10 questions about yarn. I saw this on Chevis' YouTube video, which she posted, I think it was yesterday. So Rika tagged me to answer 10 questions about yarn, and I've watched it on Chevis, who is Chevirel on YouTube as well, her answers. So I wrote the questions down. So here we go. Number 1. What is your favorite color of yarn? So my favorite color of yarn, all of them. If I would have to choose one, it would be probably like all shades of petrol, or going into the duck egg blue kind of color. And I've got here a nice example. That's a nice color. I would prefer it even darker. As I said, like a petrol. This is more like a green. But this is the kind of color I really like. I've also painted some antique furniture in my flat in this color. A little bit more subtle, but yes, that's the color I really like. Also, other colors combined with the color are shades of rust. I think they go really well together. What I wear the most is probably that kind of color. And dark blue. That goes quite well, although I do wear the rust as well. But I've put on my own design cowl, so you can actually see the colors I like to wear. This is also yarn in a kind of salmon color. It's not my favorite color, but it worked well with the rest. Like this light lilac or rose color, and the dark burgundy, which I don't really like, but it's one of my colors to wear, and a bit of a gold or a mustard. That works quite well as well. These colors here are all from John Arvin Textiles, and I've posted something about it before, so I don't have to repeat myself. Which brings me to the next question. What is your favorite weight of yarn? And I can say it's a heavy sport weight or a DK yarn. For the simple reason that it works up quickly and it's all about instant gratification for me. I really like the plumpness, although it also depends on the kind of project I want to make. I've used DK in a lot of projects, mostly big shawls and also jumpers or sweaters. If I want to have a more intricate pattern, then I'm using 4-ply. So these are my two favorites. And number 3. What is your favorite style of yarn? As Chevis as well, I'm not sure what this question actually wants to tell me. Style of yarn. I don't like the thick and thin yarns because they're quite tricky to use. Both in knitting and crochet, I prefer a yarn which is the same weight throughout. I don't like bumps and bobbles and flittery things. That's not really what I like. I don't like it if it's too scratchy. I don't like it if it's too soft and fluffy and ends up in my nostrils. I like natural fibers, but in some cases, like in socks, I would say that a bit of polyester or nylon is required for sturdiness and for being able to wash it as well. But for shawls, I would say something soft, not too fluffy, and not scratchy. Style of yarn, yeah, I think that's how I would answer that question. Now, question number 4 is, what is your favorite fiber? Which is obviously wool. But I've got 2 examples here which I really like. So the yarn I liked most of all is a blend of superfine alpaca, 40%, and then Falklands Merino, 40% organically farmed, and 20% A1 mulberry silk. And it's sport weight, heavy 4-ply yarn, and you won't be surprised to see it. It has a little bit of a halo, but not too much. That's from the alpaca, I would say. It's lovely soft, and it's Mr. Smoke from John Arwen Textiles. The color is Mr. Smoke. And this is truly the most beautiful yarn I've ever had in my hands. It's really soft. It ticks all the right boxes. So this blend is perfect for me, for shawls. And I would, if I could afford it, I would love to make a sweater from this yarn. As a comparison, this was a blend of 3 different fibers, but I've also got here this yarn from River Knits, and that's 100% Wensleydale, British Wensleydale wool, and it's almost as soft as the alpaca, mulberry silk, etc. blend. It has a halo as well. Not quite as soft, but it's getting really close. And that's a 4-ply yarn or wool in the colorway roast chestnut. And this is also something I really like. So if I would use 100% wool, I would probably go back to 100% British Wensleydale wool. So that's the fiber I like the best. What is your favorite brand that you can get in your country? Now, I'm living in Germany and I can basically get anything I want, as long as I'm prepared to pay taxes and customs and wait for it for a couple of weeks. So in that regard, I'm very privileged. I suppose it's more about local yarns. The question is about local yarns, and I've been really fond of this yarn here, which I've shown you. It's a bit of a rustic yarn, and it's 75% wool and 25% polyamide. And yes, this is really cost effective. It's by Frau Odersocke, a German-based yarn dyer, indie yarn dyer. And there you go, that's her label. A yarn which is more plump, but I don't have it here right now, is from Marianti Yarns. It's a merino yarn and it's quite plump. Even though it says 4-ply, it's a little bit thicker than the other 4-plies I've got in my advent calendars. But these are the two German-based indie dyers I really enjoy. Then there's Hippie Fibers in Spain, and she's doing the most gorgeous creations with yarn and colors. Yes, and I'm also a huge fan of these two, although because of Brexit it has become more difficult for me, or more it's involved with more hassle to order yarn from the UK. But if I would have to choose only one company for the rest of my life, it would truly be John Arbon Textiles. And this yarn, probably. Now, what is your favorite brand you can't get within your country? I haven't come across any yarn company where I wanted to order something and couldn't get it in Germany, but there is one indie dyer or hand-dyed yarn shop in Australia which I would really like to try, and I've seen Eddie Day Designs using a lot of her wool, and I think it's called Dingo Dye Works. I have to look it up and I put the name up here, and I really loved the colorways which she used. So this is something I would really love trying. It's a merino based wool or yarn. It's a merino based yarn, so it's not about the fiber as such, because we do get lots of merino yarn everywhere. It's more about the colors, the speckled colorways. I would really like to try this because, as far as I could see, they have lovely creations. So this is something I would like to try. And then there's another yarn company I would like to mention, and it's run by Claudia Carpenter, who is Crochet Luna, and she invented or brought to us the Z-twist yarn. You just have to check her out, Luna Yarns. I was lucky enough to get one of her skeins. It was hot pink, which is actually also a lovely color. I like it. Who doesn't like pink? And yeah, I would say I had to wait quite a long time because of customs and because of the COVID situation. It took, I would say, double amount of time to come to me from the USA. The Z-twist is the yarn especially made for crochet, and it doesn't untwist while you're working with it, so that's really something I can recommend as well. I would love to have more of this, but as it is at the moment, I've got so much yarn, and this is another plan I have for a little video. I actually lost count on the yarn I have. I'm planning to make a video with me opening up all my project bags, and I probably have 30 or more, and I forgot what's inside, so it's a little surprise for me there as well. And I've got so much yarn, I have to all sort it out, and I'm not talking about the usual inherited acrylic yarn even. That I think I will donate in the near future. But the 4-ply hand-dyed yarn and all the lovely yarn as well, it's piling up because I can't resist buying it. So this is a plan. If you would be interested in seeing that, then please let me know, and I might take this earlier. But now back to the questions. Number 7, my favorite yarn store, both online and in brick and mortar. Well, obviously, do I have to repeat myself? Can you hear that? That's the neighbor's dog. He agrees. It's John Arbin Textiles. And river knits. But John Arbin Textiles, just for the simple reason that it has my favorite alpaca mulberry silk Falklands merino mix. This is something I never regret buying yarn from John Arbin Textiles. And the brick and mortar one, I used to have 3 different yarn stores in my hometown, and I'm living in a small place. Here it's a small town with just above 40,000 people living here, and they are spread over different parts of the city. It's not one center, we have 3 main centers, or 4, more than one. But 2 of the 3 have closed recently, so the one left as of now, it's in a very old building with black timber, whitewash walls, and it used to be a restaurant, but they were sold. It's a long story. It would take too much time, but the building itself, it's very old, at least I would say 100 to 200 years old. There are lovely wooden floors inside. It used to be a restaurant, as I said. Now it's a yarn shop on the one side, and the other side is a cafe. And she is mostly selling, I haven't been there for a while because of COVID, but they sell German hand-dyed yarn, not just local but from all over Germany, then Austrian wool, Ferner Wolle, Ferner, then they sell West Yorkshire spinners, Drops Charisma and Drops Nepal, all the Drops yarn, and they sell the whirl cakes, and they've got Regia sock wool and Lana Grossa. It's also lovely wool. I actually love the sock wool from Lana Grossa, mile wide the best for socks. It's just working up so quickly, and it's sturdy and perfect for winter boots. Not so great for summer, but for winter boots it's great. Yes, they don't have a website. My local yarn shop has a Facebook site, but they're not big on websites, and unfortunately they're also not big on crochet. It's a daughter and a mother. The daughter owns the shop and the mother helps out, and I happened to be there when the mother was there, and she's a knitter, and when I asked her about crochet samples and crochet patterns, she said that she doesn't know what to do with crochet. It's not her thing. So that's not very helpful if you have a yarn shop. And I was quite miffed about it. I was disappointed, but yeah, it's not the wool's fault. And I think I will go there next time wearing some of my best crochet items, just to persuade them. Yes, and they have a lovely cafe, as I said. They have classes, and they have every Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm not sure. They have a meeting. You can come together, and it's like a craft meeting. I never went there myself because I have to work longer. I wouldn't be there in time. But yes, I could go there and have their special classes on techniques like Norwegian color work, that kind of thing. Mostly knitting classes. I haven't seen any crochet classes, but yeah, I guess I have to push crochet in my local yarn shop. So that's about my favorite yarn store. I do order yarn from places like Love Crafts and other places if it's commercial yarn, like drops and shapiers and these kind of things. But I do prefer hand-dyed yarn these days. So, question number 8. Do you keep scrap yarn? And if so, what do you do with it? I do keep scrap yarn. Even the tiniest little balls left over, I put them in a project bag and I would have shown it to you. Except I can't find it right now. So what do I do with it? If it's really tiny, I use it as a filling material if I do amigurumi. And otherwise I have a bowl here. Currently I have it filled with my Advent minis, or some of them. Let me show you. It used to be a bowl for making drink bowl. Bowle. So this is a crystal glass bowl, and I've got all my Advent minis, or not all, some of my Advent minis in here, and I can still use it for making a strawberry bowl. In summertime I just have to take out all the yarn. Incidentally, ice cubes, or even better, frozen fresh strawberries, then some bubbly like sparkling wine, and some strawberry syrup, and some vanilla ice cream. If the little balls of yarn are big enough, if I have enough yarn left, then I also use it for my crochet colorwork designs, like this one here. Question number 9. What is your favorite thing to crochet or knit? Well, I don't have a favorite as such. I'm all about instant gratification. My patience is very low, and therefore I would probably say shawls, because you can make a shawl in about half a time, or even a third of the time which you would use or need for crocheting or knitting a jumper or sweater or a cardigan. So from the making side, it would be a shawl, and from the beauty of the project, I would say crochet colorwork sweaters. I haven't tried my hand on knitting a colorwork sweater. If I could do that, I would probably say that as well, but as of now, I would say crochet colorwork sweaters. Yes, so these are my favorite things. Last question, and question number 10. If you could crochet or knit for the rest of your life, what would it be and what yarn would you use? Again, I would say I would use the yarn by John Arben Textiles. And probably it would be Alpaca Supreme. Or the Knit by Numbers. I love these as well. And it would be a shawl for instant gratification. And if I would have to name a pattern, that would be really unfair for all the patterns which are out there. But what I would say is that one of the shawls I enjoyed making the most, and I've made it now for 3 times in total, is the Frost Shawl by Hannah Siegmund, who is the Cozy Cottage Crochet, and she's at the moment on maternity leave. Hi Hannah, if you watch this, I really miss your podcast. Come back soon. So I've got it here. I was a test crocheter for this one, and I've made it in Stylecraft Special DK in the colorway Duck Egg Blue. It's a triangular shawl, and it's a It's a brilliant pattern. It's easy to crochet. You've got some different textures to keep you interested. This is in, oh, it has been a while, but I think it's front post double crochet US terms, and then you have half double crochets here. So it's a lovely pattern, and you can make it bigger and bigger and bigger, or you just stop after a while. This colorway here is Wisteria, I think. So yes, if I would have to make one shawl only for the rest of my life, it would be this one again and again and again. But aren't we lucky? We can do all the things we want. I don't have to restrict myself to just one project for the rest of my life. I can do everything I want. And maybe it will be knitting in future as well. Maybe. We will see. So these were the 10 questions. I would like to tag a couple of you as well. And don't be afraid, you don't have to make a video. You can answer the 10 questions on Instagram if you'd like, or in the Mighty Networks group. But I would like to tag those I can't usually see here on YouTube, which would be Rika, of course. Please answer the questions as well. And Jillian. Hi, Jillian. And I would like to see Jill's answers. Hi, Jill. And Roxanne. Roxanne, please answer as well. I would like to see all of you answering. You can also answer below in the comment section here if you'd like that. But yes, anyone who's watching, answer the 10 questions, please. Please join in the fun, tag more people. And then we will learn from each other and what we like the best and the most. And yes, thank you for watching as always. And keep well and keep safe and crochet on. Bye!